The 2015 Royal Melbourne Hospital Research Hall of Fame inductees have achieved significant and sustained national and international recognition for their work, and their research continues to impact the profession and the people it serves. Dr. Charles Kellaway. In 1923, Dr. Charles Kellaway arrived from London to accept the directorship of the then Walter and Eliza Hall Institute of Research in Pathology and Medicine. Over the next 2 decades under Dr. Kellaway's leadership, the Institute made great progress and became a world force in medical research. In 1927, Dr. Kellaway obtained the first direct funding for medical research from the Commonwealth Government, helping pave the way for the establishment of the National Health and Medical Research Council. Dr. Kellaway's own research on local snake venoms became the foundation of his international scientific reputation. He developed the first commercially produced tiger snake antivenom in Australia, which was released in 1930 and transformed the management of snake bites in Australia.
Kellaway's major discoveries were around snake venoms. So he discovered and helped manufacture the first antivenines against Australian venomous snakes, tiger snakes and taipans, and was also involved in discovering something called slow reactive substance, which was a substance the body produced in response to shocks like snake bite. And it wasn't really until 60 years later that we understood how profound the discovery of slow reactive substances was. He generated a lot of interest with the production of the first tiger snake and taipan antivenoms. And I think we forget how prevalent snake bites were when Australia was much more of a rural community. So he was really focusing on something that was an important issue for the Australian community, and I think delivered something that was a huge benefit. So I was really delighted when the Melbourne Health decided to induct Kellaway into the Hall of Fame. I think it's a great tribute.
Professor Graham Brown. Professor Brown began his association with the Royal Melbourne Hospital as a medical student and thrived at the hospital throughout his career. A past head of infection and immunity at the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute for Medical Research, the Victorian Infectious Diseases Service at the Royal Melbourne Hospital, and James Stewart, Professor of Medicine.
My main area of research has been in clinical infectious diseases, and in laboratory research it's been on malaria.
He is world-renowned for his research into malaria, particularly development of malaria vaccine and the devastating consequences of malaria in pregnancy.
So we brought parasites from Papua New Guinea and cultured them here so we could study these parasites in the laboratory. We made a number of discoveries. We showed that individual parasites can change, like having a coat of many colours, from, let's say, they changed colour orange to green to brown, etc. But what was interesting, as they changed to escape immunity, they could also stick to other things. So we found a key to the cause of malaria in pregnancy, which is a major problem. I believe the research was pioneering because it brought the best of field studies with our colleagues in Papua New Guinea and the study there to the best and latest techniques in molecular biology and protein chemistry. But I think the pioneering work was to build those two aspects, not just the parasite, not just the human response, but together to understand why people get sick from malaria. And also, what might we try to do to make people immune to malaria? So around the world now, people are working on vaccines to stop malaria in pregnancy. So that's a progressive piece of work. So it's part of a big picture globally.
Professor Brown has made an enormous contribution to medical research, the medical profession, and to the community.
I wonder how many people in the audience know that our motto is, "I learn to help the sick." What a wonderful motto, as the founders of this hospital recognised that what we're doing here is not just looking after people, but trying to learn from that experience in order to get better treatment for other people.
In 2010, he was made a member of the Order of Australia for service to medicine in the field of infectious disease. Today, we honour and recognise the careers and achievements of Dr. Charles Kellaway and Professor Graham Brown by inducting them into the Royal Melbourne Hospital Research Hall of Fame.